Hello, namaskar, and a very good evening to all the viewers watching our session out there. This is Simran Singh, and you are watching this special telecast on PME Vidya channel number 6 to 12. We have our different mediums through which you all can participate in the sessions. You can send up your queries, and another medium is our YouTube channel, that is NCRT Official. So it's around 4 p.m. on your watch, and you all know that from 4 till 5 p.m. we come up with our special sessions for all our viewers. Once again, I would like to welcome all our viewers in this live interaction running on Cyber Jagrukta Divas. And we all know it's the first Wednesday of November, that is 2nd of November, and the Ministry of Home Affairs is implementing a scheme that is called the Indian Cyber Crime Coordination Center to deal with cyber crimes in a coordinated and comprehensive manner. And in order to create awareness among students, teachers, parents, colleges, it is proposed to observe that Cyber Jagrukta Divas is to be observed on the first Wednesday of every month. And I am very delighted to inform all our viewers that for the month of November 2022, CIT NCRT is conducting these sessions in collaboration with Cyber Peace Foundation. And our central theme for the month would be social media, safety and well-being. So today is the first day of our session, and our area that we are going to discuss today is safety in social media, the need and the current scenario. As we all know that in the present day, the internet has emerged as one of the main platform for communication for everyone, with social media accounting for a significant amount of that usage. So while we are all using internet, social media, it's better to be safe. In the conversation, we are also joined by our esteemed panelists. So let me introduce you with our today's guest. In conversation, we have with us Major Vineet Kumar sir. Namaskar sir. Namaskar Vineet sir.
Namaskar.
Good evening sir. Welcome to NCRT's live interactive session. Sir is founder and global president at Cyber Peace Foundation. We are also joined by another guest, Ms. Anandita Mishra ji. Namaskar ma'am.
नमस्कार.
Good evening. आपका भी स्वागत है हमारे इस सत्र में. Anandita madam is currently serving as a consultant at Cyber Peace Foundation. So we have this session for another 1 hour for all our viewers from 4 p.m. till 5 p.m. If you have any queries in mind, any questions, then here are certain mediums through which you can connect with us. Number 1 is the comment section of NCRT Official. Number 2 is our contact number that is flashing on your screens. So feel free to give us a call at 8800-440-559, and a specific mail ID regarding cyber safety sessions is right there on your screens. It is cyberSafety@ciet.nic.in. So without taking much of your time, let's quickly begin this conversation on safety in social media, the need and the current scenario. So in the first place, I would like to invite Vineet sir in the conversation. So please inform our viewers, why is it so important to talk about social media whenever we discuss, elaborate or talk on cyber security?
We have seen the power of social media during COVID-19, where in fact online schooling, work from home became the new norm. And thanks to the space, thanks to the tech world, we all were connected. Thanks to again social media, that we were all connected to each other. We were able to speak to each other. I would say social media is quite powerful, but with great powers comes great responsibilities and great challenges. So though it is immense, I would say it has immense opportunities. बहुत ही ज़्यादा, in fact, if you talk about normal people, I've seen people who have shifted, who have their startups on the social media. People are running businesses on the social media. Education is happening on the social media. A lot of things. It has tremendous powers, but then there are certain challenges because of the rising cases, in fact, the rising penetration of social media. The criminals have also kind of joined the medium because they understand that they can be in any part of the world and they can get individuals. So whether it is a children or a senior citizen, people of all age groups are on the platform today. And platforms are multiple platforms, not just one. There are plenty of platforms that are there. We can just count some of the popular ones like Meta, in fact, also Snap and others that people generally use, but there are plenty of platforms that exist today that are there and which people are using, which in fact many netizens are using. Criminals are also on these platforms, and there have been rising cases of cyberbullying, cyber stalking, sextortion, child sexual abuse is happening in this space. There has been reported incidents of cyber-enabled human trafficking happening on cyber, and plenty of other stuffs. So that's why the conversation, and I feel this is a very good initiative that, in fact, both the organizations have taken together to kind of discuss about the powers of social media and also discuss about the challenges that the space brings. Because honestly speaking, I feel prevention is the best mantra in the cyber. Investigations and all are time consuming. The more people are aware, the more, in fact, individuals are aware, the society would be safe, and the space would be as a peaceful space. And awareness is the best thing that I feel. So that's why the conversation is important, and we are here today for this conversation.
Of course, sir. And I do believe that social media nowadays, it really affects our mental well-being, also our physical well-being to some extent, about what we are doing, what are the different platforms that we are using, and what is our intention behind using those different platforms, whether we are just chatting with our friends or we are using for any other sort of activity. So thank you so much for bringing it to this platform and apprising our viewers about why it is so significant. And sir, as you rightly mentioned, that there are certain merits and demerits to everything that we do, as every coin has two sides. So Anandita ma'am, I'll request you to inform our viewers. First, let's start with the benefits of using social media.
The benefits are several. Over the years, we have found that the number of social media apps and platforms have been rising only because there are a lot of people who have learned how you can use social media not just to stay connected and increase your network, but to communicate, learn, as I said, play games, explore the world, find out what you want, connect with like-minded people. Even we go to social media to find out the effect of medicines, even such things which we had no access to before. People start awareness campaigns like what had become very well known about 2 years back, the Me Too, hashtag Me Too campaign. Why are these coming to social media? Because this is a borderless society, the digital space. And the use of this digital space is a global matter now. Even people who are not very educated know how to go on to YouTube and check out videos. So I'll give you an example from daily life. 30 years back, if I require to do something, say cook a new dish, I would be frantic, search for cookbook, ask my mother. But today when I tell the children that you're going to get married or you're going to stay abroad and start a new life, they said, chill, there is YouTube for it. So you see the perception has changed. Every answer, every solution can be found online, whether it be a solution for your friendship, entertainment, or a solution for your business, solution for a job. If you're looking for a job, no better place than to go online and connect with people on LinkedIn or other social media apps there are. And then there are people who may find it difficult to communicate face to face, or may live in remote areas where they have very little access to facilities that we are used to. Social media gives them that access. So it has become something that is tying up people all over the world. People are finding a voice as a community, as an individual as well. So this voice is being heard, this voice can be acted upon. Social media plays therefore a very important role. And if we know how to harness its benefits properly, leverage them, we will only stand to gain.
Of course, and there's a need to channelize it in the right direction for the positive
That's
sense,
right.
because we cannot deny that there are so many benefits of social media. If a person is sitting miles away from different parts of the country, people could connect with us, we can talk to our loved ones. So of course, there are
Absolutely.
certain merits to it, but at the same time, we cannot ignore the demerits or the disadvantages that comes along with it. Please highlight them also.
All right. For all the merits I just now shared about social media, each one comes with a related demerit too. Now, social media is fun to be on. You have nothing to do. You can just switch on your phone, go surfing, go to your social media sites, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Tinder, LinkedIn, any of the sites that you are subscribed to or logged into, and you can spend hours Even if you have nothing to contribute yourself, you can continue watching and surfing through what other people are doing. Now, this leads to a colossal waste of time. So time is one factor we have to remember, where time is limited, and especially children, if they just scroll through posts of their friends just to see who's doing what, who's at a holiday, who's hanging out with whom, who's sharing what kind of photographs, so it creates peer pressure on them. And it is linked to feelings of depression, that some people have all the holidays and the best times in life, whereas I don't. It leads to feeling of uh, complexes in the mind, because self-confidence is low. Some are appreciated for their looks, or for the dresses, or for their of whatever they have, maybe shoes or books or things. And if the person who is watching these don't have these, a complex starts, lack of self-confidence occurs. If the peer group is showing appreciation for something, the child becomes, or the tendency rises in the child to do that, to be part of the peer group. Friendship is very important to children, especially in the teenagers, and they follow suit, leading them to take undue risk, like the risky challenges that had surfaced over the last few years, or spending a lot of time and money playing games, or where they bet or bought gaming levels or gaming cheat codes, where they or share photographs with public. They spend a lot of time online, so without knowing, sometimes they share a lot of personal information. And we know today privacy is so important online, because whatever we share, the digital footprints, they remain, and they can be misused today or later on. Even children forget that the content that they've shared online may surface 10, 15 years later when they go to apply for college or for a job. These can be looked through. Also, your persona online has to be moderated the way we moderate ourselves in the real world. We do not use certain language, certain kind of expressions when communicating face to face. We forget that online only because we think we are anonymous, we can do anything online. What also happens is there are physical and emotional consequences. Physical, because you may stay up late at night watching your social media platforms and commenting on them or uploading content, and that will affect your sleep cycle, leading you to wake up later, lose a large part of the day, feel sluggish throughout the day. And emotional is, as I've already told you, the complexities that develop in the mind because of the social media influence on the mind, sharing of a lot of private information, lack of ability to converse in person among people. And then there is a lot of inappropriate content online which children especially may be accidentally exposed to, that unless they use, parents use proper filters and parental controls, children may not escape those. And so even while playing online games, they may be exposed to abusive language, mindless killing, violence. So therefore, there has to be a limit. That is why we say in the digital world, technology is a gift to us, and we need to know how to use it properly, because misuse of anything, whether it be food or drugs or tech, can lead to its abuse. Abuse can lead to addiction and other problems. So these are the main demerits, I would say, of social media. Unmindful usage.
Thank you for underlining these details and insights for all our viewers regarding the advantages and disadvantages of social media. And also, if you are using, there are certain platforms, people think that on this platform everybody is getting a job. On this platform everybody is posting their good pictures, they are going out for vacation, celebrating with families, while I am here doing my job away from my home. So it also creates a kind of feeling where we somehow disagree. Somehow we disagree with this entire idea of how we are living our earning, and also how we are not being able to do our hobbies, and also different types of tasks, or the passion maybe out of lack of time. But the other person I see on the screen, I think that the person is very happy. So surely it does affect our life. So when I have access to social media, and I think everybody out there has access to social media, if I have a good intention or if I have a bad intention. So in that case, it is very important for us to understand how do cyber criminals use social media. Vineet sir, please help us with that.
Yeah, in fact, I have a lot of pointers from where Anintya left. One
Sure.
thing that I like to add is the latest what we have seen, the MO of crimes, and one of them is making use of deepfake. And you must have, I was just searching on my laptop if I could show an image, maybe later I'll kind of access that advisory also. You must have seen the different challenges running on the social media, like Daughters Challenge is one, Sari Challenge is another one. It was quite popular where you wear sari, you get a photograph clicked, and then you nominate several other people also in the challenge. Now, these are some of the hunting grounds for the criminals to get access to your content, to get access to your photographs, to get access to your videos, images, and then use specialized software which can morph the entire thing. We can change the photograph from normal picture to a nude picture and then later on blackmail you. So that's how deepfake is being used at different levels. So we should be very careful while putting photographs, while putting videos on the social media, and again participating in such challenge. So that's one. Secondly, in fact, thefts. We have seen the rising cases. The thieves also are now using social media platforms to track users. So they track the social media profile first. In fact, what they interestingly do is they impersonate a profile, maybe dress up like a girl and send a request to a boy. If the boy accepts, then thereafter they start monitoring the entire activities of that individual, about likes, dislikes, and then we have a wrong habit of sharing everything, whatever we do. Like it was just brought out, that in fact we post about the locations, like if you are going to have a cup of coffee with friends at certain place, we kind of tag those friends. We use a tag, put it that we are there at, say, some coffee shop with the location and everything, thereby exposing about us, where we are, and about the entire locations and everything. This is how criminals can make, I can misuse the content wherein they can track you, and several other stuffs can also happen. Like, for example, thefts can happen at your home if you're away for vacation for something. The criminals can find out from the social media and then can conduct a robbery at your house. And the other thing is kidnappings can also happen, and we had seen it. It's not something recent, but it's I think around 3-4 years back, where one incident happened where a businessman's son was kidnapped using the same thing. I mean, on the social media, the entire move of the child was being studied, and then one fine day when he posted that he's going to watch a movie with his friends, and that was a late night show at some PVR, the criminal got activated, and that's when he kind of kidnapped that boy. But later on, the boy was recovered. So certain cases like this has emerged, and there are many such cases that are coming. Gaming is another stuff. Like there are games that are also happening, and social media networks kind of are using certain gaming channels and all. Certain conversations are happening, like there are Discord channels that are being set up where youngsters, children, young adults are quite active on these platforms. They have conversations about games, they have conversations about various stuff, but then in return, sometimes they get exploited, they get cheated. When some random link gets shared with them that giving them some privileged access to a particular game, they click on that particular link, and thereby what happens is a malware on their phones, which kind of accesses the entire content of the phone, the WhatsApp messages, text messages, even cameras, microphone and camera, the selfie camera, even the back camera, the entire access of the phone, of the digital device is given to the criminal, which they misuse in multiple forms. So some of these patterns, other than the regular patterns that we have been all mentioning in the earlier such conversations about stalking, bullying, sextortion. Now, the unfortunate part about like sextortion now is, earlier it was just the girl child that was being targeted with sextortion, but over past few months, we have seen sextortion is also targeting the male child. And that too, it's across different age groups, not just one group, but it is going across. So age here is no bar. I mean, from a child to a senior citizen is being targeted through these different sextortion scams. Even child sexual abuse material. Some of the researches that Cyber Peace Foundation had done, we saw child sexual abuse material being circulated on end-to-end platforms. on different groups. I'll not name a particular platform, but this is across different platforms. This is across different OTT messaging platform where people are sharing messages. They are asking for child abuse content. Now, one should know that seeking such material in a forum or any particular space is a big crime. It comes under the Act, POCSO Act, and also the IT Act, wherein you are seeking such information. So if you kind of seek any such information, download any such information, view such child abuse content, then you are under there. So certain things that people are unaware, and what we have seen is when we had done conversation with children on the ground, asking them about different thing about privacy, what does privacy mean to them, what is child sexual abuse. We have been doing those difficult conversations with them, and what we understand is many children on the ground, they are unaware about the problems. They are unaware that they are being also groomed in some way. Now, there was a case that was reported to one of the anti-trafficking organizations whom we closely work with. They said that there was a girl, and multiple messages were being sent to that girl via Facebook, on her Facebook, and she was like constantly receiving almost 20-30 messages in a day. So she said that messages were so annoying that she finally agreed to meet that individual, thinking that once she meets that particular individual, the entire thing would stop. But it happened the other way. She went and met, and then she was further abused, physically exploited, and then later on her videos were shot, and then she was pushed into trafficking. Now, that victim said that she wasn't aware of a simple feature that you can use blocking as a mechanism to block such inappropriate messages. Now, this is what it shows, that on the ground people are unaware. They are unaware that how platforms can be made secure. What are the privacy settings? What are the security settings? Everything is there. A lot of platforms, and today, in fact, I must also use this forum to kind of apprise everyone that the IT rules 2021 has been amended just 2 days back. And we will have a panel, a grievance panel within the ministry and other stuff. So a lot of things are being done at the intermediaries level, so that, and by the government also, to make sure that our users are safe. But ultimately it goes down to how much people are aware. Until unless people are aware at different level, they are aware about the features that exist, people will keep on trying new ways and mechanisms. Like I said, deepfake is today, tomorrow it would be something else. So we have to be very cautious. We have to maintain hygiene in the space. This space is not risky, by the way, and nobody should kind of fear, like we are discussing the negative side of, like you said, the flip side, the other side of the space. And obviously we are talking negative stuffs today, but it has a lot of positives. This space has a lot of positives. But the more we are aware, we will be able to kind of make sure that everything is safe and secure. And that's how these conversations like this are quite important. Thank you.
Of course, sir. So thank you for apprising our viewers about how do cyber criminals use social media, and also you have shared few examples with all our viewers. In the same context, sir, I would like to ask you, how do social media crimes impact the victims?
So it impacts victims in a big way, because again, we have been running the helpline, and what we see is it's not just a case of a financial fraud or people and the victims losing money. Money is the least thing, and with the major issue that is the kind of trauma that it causes. For example, we have been getting suicidal calls also from the victim. There was a child who reached out to us, in fact, around a couple of months back, and he was extremely depressed, saying that in fact he had access to his father's credit card or debit card. I don't remember exactly, debit or credit, but then he had one of these cards. And what he did was, while playing games, he just entered the card in thinking that he would win some prize money. And in the end, he ended up losing all his father's money and credit that he had in his particular account. And he was extremely depressed with this particular thing. And it was a stage where he wanted some psychological support, and that's where we were able to connect that boy and kind of counsel him, and we were able to save a life. Similar cases happen. There are a lot of calls that we get from young girls who have been in a relationship. Now sexting is very common. I mean, you must be hearing about different cases In fact, a boy, is born. In the millennials are born in the cyberspace. And the entire schooling is now on cyber. They make relationships in the cyberspace. They have breakups in the cyberspace, and then they have different issues in the cyberspace now. So that's what. And sexting is very common. I mean, seeking semi-nude pictures of the partner, intimate pictures of the partner is very common now. And that's what people don't realize. Like, in a moment they feel like, okay, fine, sharing is not a problem, but later on, after the breakup happens, after something wrong happens, that's when the kind of misuse of such images start happening. So that way it's a lot of emotional stress also. When emotionally, in fact, a lot of people had been kind of very upset with certain incidents, and our team, we were able to counsel to few of them and kind of make sure that no, there's an array of hope. So that's what we do, kind of make them understand, okay, things have gone wrong, things go wrong with everyone, there's no harm. So we should not feel that this has happened to me, the entire society, entire world would get to know about it, I will not get married, and also different thoughts come at that point of time. So what we do is, like, we kind of instill a kind of a confidence among the victims that this is very common. It has happened to us, it has happened to a member of my family, and we were able to cope up. So the moment you kind of speak to them in that language, they see a ray of hope, and that's when they get convinced that they see, okay, fine, this is something that I can get over with that. But yes, many places where victims, they don't reach out to us. Like, I was reading a very unfortunate incident, in fact, just before the session, wherein a victim, it was a teenager who actually stole some chocolates from a mall. And there were a lot of people who kind of took the videos, and the video went viral. After the victim saw that video, she committed suicide, and we lost a life there. So it's again something that it is also not just on the children, but it also on the users. So basically, everyone should understand the responsible online behavior in the cyberspace. What is good, what is bad, what can go wrong, what can cause harm. Cyber harms can happen in multiple ways. It's not just one style or the other style. There are multiple styles where the cyber harm. You may not even realize that posting a particular video can cause a harm to an individual, but ultimately it causes, like it happened in this particular case. So we have to be careful in such things about how things can go wrong. A simple comment, a simple tweet, a simple reaction, maybe a simple photograph, a particular emoji or a meme can kind of cause a lot of emotional stress to the individual on the other side. So that way it requires a very responsible thought process, and that's what we aim to kind of create this, kind of spread a message of responsible online behavior within the individuals. And I'm sure Ananta would also like to add to the entire conversation and share her thoughts also on this.
Yeah, at this point, sir, whatever you have spoken till now, you have touched upon all the important things that we need to be aware of. And I will just talk about the last point. Vinitji has already spoken about how people approach and get access to children through the social media apps. It can be a cyber predator. It can be somebody just collecting, data mining. They're collecting your data to create false IDs. It can be somebody who has a purpose, like the boss scam that happens in an employee receives a message from the boss and thinking that boss has asked him to do so, clicks on a link or shares, giving access to the cyber criminal to the entire organization's network. So there are various forms. Cyber criminals are becoming as smart as our technology. So dealing with victims, there is one thing I must talk about here, because I expect parents, teachers, and children are here. Please deal with empathy. Empathy is very different from sympathy. Sympathy is daya. We feel daya and karuna for somebody who is, and you consider a level below you, condescending attitude where you show, oh my, I'm so sorry, I'm so hurt. It is not like that. Empathy is when you treat that person at a level, understand them, and speak to them as if you understand their problem. Our first instinct here, I have found, is to shout at the child, or why did you do this? Why did you share photographs? Are you stupid? Are you foolish? Should you not have known? You being so smart and reading in a good school. that you do not write such language or share. It has been done. The child has made a mistake. Children do make mistakes because, number one, they do not wait to see or think about the consequences of their action. So at this stage, again and again drilling them about what they have done wrong will not help. The child will become more reclusive and may become depressed and not share further what has gone wrong. We want the child to speak up, tell us everything that has happened. Initially, child may not be able to reveal to what length the abusing has gone to. So therefore, we have to be very empathetic. Our voice, our eyes, our body language should be of, I understand you, I'm there for you. And we create a support for the child. If it is a child, if it's a woman, whoever, a support consisting of a family member, a trusted friend, partner, so that they are always there to be, speaking up against bullies online, or asking social media platforms to bring down posts that are abusive and hurtful. Like the case of the girl that Vinitji talked about, the people have to take action immediately, not come out and just protest, but also online ask the social media platform, bring down the post immediately, citing the reasons for it. These are the things we are not aware of, and we need to create awareness about these.
And at the same time, ma'am, adding to what you have already mentioned, parents and teachers, they need to provide a liberal space, I should say an ambience or environment to all the children and students, so that they can come up and they can simply convey to their teachers if they are feeling uneasy, uncomfortable in any circumstances. Moving ahead in the conversation. Yeah.
That's what you call a safe space. A safe space where they can open up, and share without any fear of any kind of recrimination, embarrassment or humiliation.
And ma'am, at the same time, nowadays we are so glued to social media. For example, if I talk about my routine, the moment I open my eyes in the morning, it's about switching off my alarm, then checking on the notifications on my cell phone, and the different updates, okay, who all have messaged me, what are the different works or the schedule. So everything goes on with the internet. So ma'am, with regard to that, are there any physical and psychological effects of excessive use of social media?
There has to be. You mentioned it yourself that the first thing I do is to start my phone and check my messages.
Yes.
You see, the smartphone is becoming an extended appendage. It's kind of, perhaps we'll all have this kind of a figure in another 50, 60 years. Our body will change because we're all the time holding on to a smartphone, unless the phone becomes smaller and incorporated in a watch or something else. So what are we doing to our minds? Continually watching a screen where continually pictures and messages are going by. Are we keeping some or retaining any of it? Are we just letting them go by and filling up our mind and the space in our mind with so much of unnecessary things? What will happen to us? We will not be able to focus on anything that requires concentration. The first thing that suffers is our concentration level. Everything has to be a 2-minute thing or we lose interest. People would prefer these days to read a short cartoon or watch an anime series rather than sit down with one of the classics that have 400, 500 pages. They will not be, even if they want to, keeping the focus on a particular thing will be difficult. Second thing is sleep cycle, as I told you. There is some goodness in what the earlier our ancestors to tell us, sleep early, get up early. There are good things about it, about eating on time. But these days I find children eat with the phone, go to bed with the phone until they don't absolutely fall asleep. They are continually surfing and chatting and exchanging. It's nice to talk. It's nice to be aware. But there has to be a limit to that. Anything done without limit is not nice. It's abuse of that device, I've already told you. It leads to aggressiveness. I had a case where a mother opened up to me after a session, this was 7, 8 years back, and said that the child, her son, 16-year-old, had become so addicted to gaming that once she tries to stop him, he gets violent. He even hit his father when he tried to take the devices away. The same father who had lovingly got him the latest PlayStation and all other gadgets required to play games. The guy stopped studying. He used to be a good player, football player. He stopped playing football. He did not even keep connection with his friends. He was so busy playing games in his room. He would not allow his parents to enter the room. There would be shouts and verbal matches every day till she used to keep it hidden, like all mothers. She did not want others to talk about her son till he started hitting at them. And then I put her in touch with a psychologist who would counsel the child. And he took him under his wing. The child first refused to go. And then the parents and the psychologist worked on him to break all the barriers. And thankfully, it took a lot of time, thankfully. But we don't want our children to go to that level when it is an addiction. We need to talk to them right beforehand. And for that, we have to first model them. If adults are all the time on the phone, and when I've seen people coming to talk, the children coming to talk to parents, and what a child, father or mother is doing, and they're surfing, and one eye is on the child will feel that my parents are not interested in me. The device is more important to them. The child is going to replicate that action. So if you don't want that, we don't do that. We are blessed to have our social studies, our do's and don'ts in the real world, because these patterns have been going on for ages. We know the digital world is new. We need to stay here, and we are going to stay here forever. It's not going to go away. So there is no point, as Binitji mentioned, to keep devices away or to keep children away from the digital world. They in fact need to know more so that they know how to stay safe, work here, connect here, how to communicate properly. These are very, very important lessons that everybody needs to learn early in life.
Also, ma'am, when we are scrolling through any sort of social media, any platform, social media platform, and something inappropriate just directly comes in front of us. So what is the right method to deal with it? Should we ignore it? Should we report it? We can consider it as a spam. So how to go about that?
Most of the times, unfortunately, if a parent is not around, they won't even know that the child has come across something inappropriate for their age. It happens in many video sharing platforms. There are few videos that are good, and suddenly one video comes that is sexual content or adult content, as we call it. The child may be disturbed. The child may share with the parent, and then the parent can take an action. Or it is good to teach children how to act. They should be learning how to tackle such problems. So together with the child, sit down and find the social media app on which the child had come across that content. Talk to him that there are many kinds of things that be happening online, because our life is like that. Now your children, this is your time to do such and such things. But when you're adult, there will be adult love and adult relationship, which is very different. And it will happen when you grow up, but not now. So the moment you come across content that disturbs you, you are going to find that place on the social media app where you can report such content. So first, report such content on the app, flag them, then it's very easy. You have to just click on as the page is done and report the content. So the social media platform will examine, and then if they find the content abusive and not appropriate, take them down. Or else parents should install parental control, activate them using their own login, and filter content as per age. So if a child is of 10 years, they can allow all content suitable for 10 years old. They can block by words also. I used to do that with my children. Words like sex, blood, or parts of the body, these breast. I used to use these web filters to filter out content that had these words, either in video form or in audio forms or even in text form. So such content would not be displayed when my child used my laptop. And yes, keep the parental control login ID and password very secret so that your children don't have access to it and change all your settings.
So whenever a cyber crime takes place, it necessarily has to do a lot with privacy and also our security settings. So in that case, sir, how can we improve cyber security on our social media accounts?
Security on the social media accounts, like I mentioned earlier, we have to follow certain cyber hygiene steps. And one of them is, like any social media account you go, you have the trust and safety section, you have privacy settings and controls that are there when you go into the settings. So you should go and kind of apply those settings. There are certain important settings like enabling 2FA. 2FA is called two-factor authentication. So this is in certain cases when your account gets maybe compromised, if somebody gets to know your password and somebody is trying to log in to your account, you'll get a kind of a OTP on your phone, and that is the second form of authentication. So until unless that criminal has those OTP, the criminal won't be able to log in. Then there are different privacy settings, and these privacy settings are not just for social media, but also for instant messaging apps, OTT messaging apps like WhatsApp, Telegram. You have all those settings that are there. One has to be also very careful, like certain cases were also reported to us, like people have the habit of buying multiple SIMs, and they kind of register their social media accounts also on that SIM. If they are not using that number, automatically that number goes into a list, you can say, and the same number gets allotted after 3 months time to any other individual. Now there had been cases that were reported wherein these people who got the numbers actually tried to get access to the Facebook account of the individuals by using that number, and then tried to get OTP on that number, and then thereafter they got access to those accounts. So this is something that may create a problem. So you have to be very watchful, in fact, of the numbers that are associated with the account, the emails that are associated with the account, the kind of passwords that you are using. Don't use a small passwords like ABC123 and all that. So those are very easy to crack and all that. And one has to make this as a habit that maybe after every 2 months, I keep it as a practice, though experts recommend that every month you should change a password. But sometimes, I mean, it becomes difficult for the people to kind of remember so many passwords. So at least I have made it as a practice that every 60 days I change my passwords. And I use phrasing techniques to kind of remember my password. But I have kind of made long passwords difficult to remember password, and then they have entered that password into a small notebook, and then they have kind of dropped that notebook somewhere, and then people got access to their accounts. So always use those phrasing techniques and all that to kind of secure. And I mentioned about those random links that come on your social media. Avoid clicking on those random links, etc. It could be something flashy, something that would interest you, like kind of a free pass to a concert of maybe a celebrity and all that, which would tempt you to click on that. So that's the place where you need to think, you need to take a step back, that why it is coming for free. There are no free lunches that are given. Some agenda is always there, and that ways, I mean, you might be getting certain kind of messages on your WhatsApp, for example, where somebody would be inviting you to Kaun Banega Crorepati, and in lieu they will be asking certain amounts. So I would say never ever even download images that come from random numbers, because images also can compromise your phone if you download a particular image on your phone from a random number. Always respond to trusted contacts, reply, and in fact connect to trusted contacts only, and avoid adding strangers to your profile. So these are some basic steps that we recommend. Other than safety of your digital device is also at most important. So these are the platform, like I mentioned about some safety steps that you can take it on the platform, but you are also using some device, for example, your phone. You need to kind of keep your phone up to date. You need to have passwords in your phone. You need to make sure that your Bluetooth, your NFC, etc. are not enabled by default. Enable it when in use, and then after the use is done, just disable it. I mean, one more thing that I suggested, I've seen a lot of people kind of getting connected to the internet 24/7, which I discourage. I mean, I would suggest that, I mean, limit yourself, limit your work. I mean, when you're sleeping, your phone need not be connected. When you're awake, then connect your phone. So people, because they're getting free internet, they connect their phone and for the night, and several issues may happen. People can criminals may target them when the phone is inactive. We may compromise the phone and also. So basically, these are certain basic steps in cyber hygiene that we recommend. And don't fall for those free offers, free application. If somebody is giving you an iPhone 14 Pro in just 5,000 rupees, again, that's a scam. Basically, there are different MO of such crime. One is either somebody will kind of offer you an unbelievable offer. That is one kind of category. The other category is somebody would scare you For example, you'll get a message on your account that your Facebook account would be getting closed because you have violated our norms, our privacy norms by sharing certain posts. To kind of continue your profile, click on this link. So all of that. So this is the fear factor. They'll create that fear. They'll create a sense of urgency for you. So signs, and then also the romance scams are also quite common, where people will look out for you. They will saying that they are alone and they're looking for a partner and things like that. So avoid all of these things. If something goes wrong, there are platforms to report. Like Anantaji mentioned, you can report it on the platform. That's number one. Every platform has a report abuse section. You can report there. After that, I would suggest also use the reporting platform that exists at the Government of India level. One of them is 1930. That's a number. It is any fraud, any financial fraud related stuff that happens, you can report on this number 1930. The other portal, which is very useful, and I recommend everyone to kind of remember, it's very easy to remember, is cybercrime.gov.in. Cybercrime.gov.in. It's a Government of India, Ministry of Home Affairs portal. It's called the National Cybercrime Reporting Portal. Here you can report cases sitting at your home if you are a victim in any form. In case of a child under 18, you can also use POXO e-box. POXO e-box is again run by the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. It's a very powerful tool. I highly recommend that you reach out, as children, as parents, if somebody is abusing your children online, you also report to the POXO e-box, because then the commission also gets activated there. For anybody above 18, there are different channels again available. But in case of women, National Commission for Women also has a reporting platform where people can report. And there are many other platforms like Jago Grahak. Jago is something that campaign being run where any fraud that happens related to e-commerce fraud and all that, it can be reported on Ministry of Consumer Affairs helpline. So these are the reporting channel. One more thing that I wish to apprise everyone, that be aware about the cyber laws that exist. As of now, we have the IT Act. IT Act 2000, which was amended in 2008, and we are expecting the new IT Act also to come up. But this is something that as common as netizens, you should be aware about the laws that are there, the laws that can protect you. You must be aware about POXO Act. Again, POXO is the second thing that you should remember, and especially in case of child, POXO gets activated in case of a child only. Then we have expecting the data protection bill to be introduced soon. So that again would empower us quite a lot. But as of now, we have the IT rules 2021, which just got amended a few days back. The National Cybersecurity Strategy is going to come in. So overall, there are rules, regulations, laws that are there, and that will be kind of there to kind of protect you and empower users. For any of the US-based platform, if your content is going viral, if your content is going viral on a social media platform or something, you can get your content taken down yourself without reporting to the police also. So that's called DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Act. DMCA is a very good tool, and this is for the US platforms. All the US platforms are covered here. So you can go there, you can pinpoint the kind of links, kind of sharing your photograph, video without your consent, and you can get that taken down. So these are some of the reporting platform. And other than that, I think I've covered it all. But as parents, I would say, please, cyber parenting is an important thing. So you should kind of enroll for a course for sure on cyber parenting, on the apps that you can utilize for children, the kind of parental control filters that you have. Banning is not a solution. So for all the parents here, in fact, a quick advisory, please don't ban stuffs. Let your child be exposed to technology, because technology today, in fact, we have games in Olympics for gamers. So that's the level things are going in. So make them use technologies to the max, and there are ways and means to protect your children in the space. Be aware about all the tips and tricks that are there, and we can together we can safeguard everyone in the site.
So thank you so much for sharing these redressal mechanisms and also the policies that are undertaken by the government in this direction. In the conversation, we are left by the last 2 minutes, so I would like to have concluding remarks from Anandita ma'am as well.
It has been a wonderful conversation where we have discussed social media, its importance in our lives, the way it can create negativity through crimes, and how we ourselves can tackle those to enjoy a good digital time. Now, our digital safety is in our hands. If we use a good, reputed cybersecurity tool, we use two-factor authentication for all our accounts, whether it be social media or banking, and we limit our time online using digital well-being tools like Google has a digital well-being app. If we can do this and take technology in our hand, we are not the slaves of technology, but we become the controller of our own technological life. We are bound to experience a wonderful time online. But if we give in to our desire to be, a popular, well-known, famous, and take part in, as Viniji said, in a Facebook contest of sari wearing, or taking part in competitions like what does your birth date tell you about your personality, we need to remember how much we are sharing willingly. Nobody is forcing us to share such data. We are doing so because we think we are going to gain from it. I think we need to know what is too much information, what is enough. So follow the age-old cyber practice that I keep telling you about, the cyber safety mantra. Stop, think, act. When online, do not take undue risks. Think before you go somewhere, think before you click on something, and think before you post something, because your post may lead to issues for you or somebody else today or later on. This little bit of precaution and monitoring and mentoring by parents when children are young can go a long way in ensuring you become a good digital citizen.
Well said. Thank you so much to both our panelists for being a part of this conversation. Thank you so much, Major Vineet Kumar sir, for guiding the path of our viewers in this session and apprising us about some of the significant details associated with social media and cyber safety. And with that, I would also thank Anandita madam for being with us in this conversation and sharing your precious information with your valuable time as well. Thank you. So thank you.
So much.
A big thanks to all the viewers who have been watching our sessions. If you have any of the queries, then feel free to write about your messages, your queries in the comment section of NCERT Official. In our upcoming sessions as well, we'll try to include all your answers of the questions. So stay connected to NCERT Official. It's time for me to wrap up this particular session that we were running under Cyber Jagrukta Divas series. As of now, we'll have to conclude it, but stay connected. Our upcoming session is Sahyog, that provides guidance for mental well-being and psychosocial support for all the students and viewers watching our sessions out there. So keep watching PM eVidya channels. Namaskar.